Yeah, that acceleration's monumental. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the all-new Kia EV6. This one is in the first edition package. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the Jerry Signer Kia here in South Salt Lake for giving me some time with this EV6. Check out the inventory in the description down below, and on a side note, I just released my car buying course. Link in the description down below if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car. Let's get into the video. So we need to go over the figures that matter, and that is range, horsepower, torque. So in terms of range, 274 miles of full electric driving range, 320 horsepower, 446 pound-feet of torque, and this is all-wheel drive because it has two electric motors, one in the front, one in the rear, and yeah, that's the stuff that matters. You guys can see you've got the EV logo here in the center, and I love how they have this displayed kind of like a combustion car, where they've like it doesn't have an engine obviously because it's fully electric, but like it looks like it does. It's, I don't know, I think it's cool. Now let's go over the front end of the EV6. Now this one is finished in steel matte gray, which I think looks absolutely fantastic. The one thing I will say, if you do get an EV6 in this color, I recommend putting paint protection film over the entire car, because you can't take this through regular car washes or anything like that. Now, going over the elements, you guys can see the body lines just absolutely pop here on the car. We've got the LED accent lights, and then you've got the reflector lights for the headlights themselves. Parking sensors here on the front end, and then I love this design touch. Notice how the accent light kind of goes there into the front grille. We do have a front camera there, the new Kia logo, and then you can see all the trim here at the bottom with the silver trim right there, kind of in the center. And yeah, overall, really good looking car from a front end perspective. So coming around the side here, we've got two 55mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see the design on the wheels. Looks really good with the silver here, and then notice how you've got the black right next to it. I think it's really unique from a design perspective, and I think it just looks great overall. And then notice how we've got the painted fender flare here, and look at the texturing on it. Definitely crazy. Another parking sensor there. And you can see the silver trim down below and how that's blacked out, so it kind of all matches. The mirrors are blacked out, and notice the pillars as well. And if we take a few steps back, you guys can see the side view. This car looks crazy. I mean, we got some regular cars here that they have for sale, and you can see just like how crazy and futuristic this looks compared to like anything it is next to. It's just such a unique vehicle. Got the pop-out door handles, which is cool, and I like this element, how it's blacked out here, so it kind of makes it look like the whole roof is floating. So here's a key fob. We got the remote start, and then this does have the self-park. We've got the lock, the unlock, the opening here for the hatch, and yeah, it's cool that it has the self-park feature. Now, anyways, if we hold this, you guys can see that it'll pop open with the rear hatch, and storage space back here is actually really good. So, you guys can see underneath, got the tire mobility kit, but yeah, decent storage space. And again, being a hatchback, you can see that loading stuff in is not going to be an issue whatsoever. When you are done, you can press this, and then if the car's dead, you've got that to close it yourself. And then you guys are probably wondering about the remote start and all that stuff. So all you have to do is just lock it and then hold this down, and then that will start it up. And it'll let you know because you can see the lights flashing right there. And then in terms of the self-park feature, you then just, if you have it remote started, you just have to hold the function which you want it to do, and then you guys can see it'll do the thing where it'll move by itself. So if you're in a really tight parking space, then you can basically line the car up, and then you can park it, and so you can get out before or you can get out after. So it's just I don't know, it's a nice feature to have. And so I've noticed that this is a lot better than, you know, when the system first came out in some Hyundai models. This definitely, like, it works. You can see this parking lot's pretty full, and yeah, I don't know, nice feature to have. Now here's the door panel in the rear. You guys can see the padding. Down below, we've got our window control, heated seat control right here. We've got some speakers here for the sound system. And then here are the seats. So these nice leather seats here, perforations in the center. And let's pop in so you guys can see legroom, and then also back seat storage. And then headroom. And pulling this down, you can see armrest with some cup holders inside of it. And that looks funny. Let's head to the front. Now here's the door panel at the front. You guys can see again with the padding. And I love how this continues into the door handle itself. Got our memory seat controls here, window controls, mirror adjustments, and then the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. Got the speaker there for the Meridian sound system. EV6 first edition plaque. And then here are the seats at the front with the funky headrest. And you guys can see again perforated leather in the center. And then really nice leather here on the side. Power adjustments there. Pedal layout down below. EV6 badge. Got our stability control here at the parking brake. And then notice this is for charging. I love how it feels like an old school like gas fill up, but then it's with the charging. I don't know, I think it's funny. Anyways, you guys can see that for the hatch to open it up. And let's pop in. So here is the steering wheel, pretty interesting with the 2-spoke design, but yeah, really nice leather trim. Got the stitching here, and then at the bottom it actually doesn't have any stitching, which is kind of interesting. I like the metallic ring that kind of goes through. Got the regeneration paddles. This does have adaptive cruise control, steering assist, all that fun stuff. And you can see the voice command volume controls. We've got the drive mode select, which you can go between eco, normal, and sport. Definitely nice. And you guys will notice we got our light, turn signal stock, we got the windshield wiper stock on the other side. And I guess since we're at the center gauge cluster, we'll just go over it anyways. You can see the different menus you can scroll through. Looks really good, being a full digital gauge cluster. And then when I pop it into like sport mode, for example, notice how everything gets like red and aggressive. So pretty cool that the formatting changes. And then just like, you know, an iPhone shows you your percentage of battery left, which I think is pretty cool. And also you can see the, you know, full range in terms of the mileage. But yeah, that's the center screen and the steering wheel. Now here is the infotainment system. First off, we're going to pop it into reverse. So we've got a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. Notice the bird's eye view as well. And overall resolution on the camera system is fantastic. Moving from that, we also have a camera button we can press, and that'll pop it on as well, which is pretty cool. Now as for the infotainment system, response time is, you know, immediate. You guys can see as soon as I like touch the screen, pretty much just instant with the response time, which is great. In terms of stuff on this, there's nothing too crazy. You've got an EV page which you can go into, and notice that'll let you know some different things. For example, lets us know the next charging place is Costco. Costco's got everything nowadays, right? So yeah, nothing too crazy there. So that's the infotainment system. Notice it's connected here to the center gauge cluster. It's like one giant continuous screen. So we've got some vents down below with the hazard light button, and then you guys can see you've got a bunch of controls here for like the radio, for example, and then shortcut buttons for the infotainment system. And it's pretty cool that they don't have any like haptic feedback, but they, you know, aren't really buttons, but they are at the same time. So it's, I don't know, I don't know, I like it. So yeah, pretty cool functionality that. And then you guys can see you've got some USBs down there. We've got heated and cooled seats here for the front, which I'm a maniac, so we're gonna press on the cooled seat even though it's like 38 degrees outside. Got the EV button right here. And then notice that since this is a first edition, it gives you the build number, which is pretty cool, 671 of 1500. And then we have the transmission selector right here with the auto hold, and then parking sensors, camera button, wireless phone charger. And this is pretty interesting with the texture. My jacket like wants to stick to it. Just kind of funny. But you guys can see opening this up, pretty straightforward. I don't think it's magnets. Let me see. No, there's no magnet or anything like that. It just closes like that, which is kind of interesting. But you can see on the dash as well, looks pretty cool. And then we've got glove box situation. And yeah, that's pretty much all for that area. Finishing things up top here, we do have a little sunroof. Not a panoramic though, just a little sunroof. Control for it is right here. And yeah, that's all for the top. So here's a window sticker for this EV6. Now, here's the standard equipment. You guys are probably saying, you bamboozled us on the range and the torque and everything. Just wait, you'll understand in a minute. So you guys can see the rest of the standard equipment. And then if we go on options, this is where everything gets updated because this is a GT line. So you can see the power figures and all that. And then you can see how much the first edition package gives you. So you're basically, you know, you're paying for a couple badges and a low build number. That's pretty much what this first edition gives you. Anyways, total MSRP, $59,945. And then you guys can see that whole thing. Let's see how it drives. Had to whistle because the speaker's playing music. But anyways, well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. There's visibility over the hood, and you guys can now see the heads-up display, hopefully. Both the mirrors. Should have blind spot monitoring. And throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So setting off in the EV6, the first thing we're going to test out is the paddles. So hold the one, okay. Then we'll do the other one. Okay, so you can kind of switch between them. Yeah, so basically what the paddle is if you are in a situation where you want to quickly use the regenerative braking, hardcore, you just hold down the paddle. And also this has the turn signal camera, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of. I like the sound, it sounds so futuristic. I feel like I'm in the spaceship Enterprise right now. Don't worry, I've driven electric vehicles before. But every electric vehicle has its own unique sound. And this is all regenerative braking. This is not touching the brake pedal at all. I'm pretty bad at it because I stopped a little bit too soon. Let's try again. Okay, wait, there we go. Boom! Didn't even touch the brakes at all. That is full regenerative braking to come to a complete stop here. So that's pretty cool if you ask me. And get up and move here. So this is just in the normal mode. It's got this cool futuristic sound to it. So I have an auto now. I'm gonna take it out of auto. One of the train tracks too. Because in auto, it'll basically just do one pedal driving for you. So take it down a notch. Okay, there we go. Now, taking a turn here. Let's actually pop it into sport mode. Ooh, definitely gets... It's like a weird futuristic sound. Weird futuristic sound. That is unique. Like, listen to that. Oh, gives me a head rush, that's for sure. Man, I don't know why people think that they need more than like what this has, power-wise, is more than adequate. Like, it gives me a little bit of a head rush. You know, you could have fun with your passengers, all that kind of stuff. Anything more than this with an electric vehicle, it seems like it's overkill from a power perspective, but maybe that's just me. And again, I've driven stuff like the Tesla Model S Plaid. And so, like, I've experienced that side of electric cars. Fun for, you know, a few accelerations, and then you're like, you know what? I don't want to be sick all the time. Yeah, the camera mirror, that's one of the things that like, Kia putting that in their cars is so smart. And yeah, I guess that even though this commentary today is kind of crappy, we'll sum things up. Yeah, that acceleration's monumental. Okay, let's sum things up. So first off, exterior-wise, I think this looks amazing. Obviously, we've got the Hyundai Ioniq 5, which is the sibling vehicle. I just reviewed that one a couple weeks ago, and they drive the same. There's literally no difference whatsoever between the cars. I cannot, like, with anything, there's so many, like, they're pretty much the same car, different sheet metal on the outside. Even the, yeah, a lot of the tech and everything, like, it's all the same. So it's going to kind of come down to, you know, which one you like the look of more. The Ioniq 5 kind of has more of like an old school retro design to it, whereas this kind of has more of like a futuristic sporty design to it. So whichever one you like the look of more. I personally like this look more, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, aside from that, oh, I should just use the camera mirror thing, turn signal camera. In terms of the interior, I actually really like this. For the price point that this is at, this is a nice interior. I feel like seats are really nice. Everything like looks great. Infotainment system's easy to use. Digital gauge cluster looks great. All of it's great from an interior perspective. And then from a driving perspective, it's got more than enough acceleration. Range is solid. Like there's nothing I can really say that's bad about this vehicle, other than the fact that, like I said, if you get this paint color, you're gonna have to put something over it. If you don't want to deal with that, just get like a regular gloss paint color. I know this looks cool, but there's some maintenance associated with it. So yeah, this is an amazing EV, and this is just another reason as to why you shouldn't buy a Tesla. Seriously, like, we've got, you know, obviously the Ioniq 5, we've got the new Mustang Mach-E. They actually have one on lot, the VW ID4, which I definitely prefer this over the ID4. I definitely prefer this over the ID4. It feels a lot better. So there's just so many options out there now. And again, this is just another thing that's stacking up against Tesla. But what I'd have to say is, obviously, Kia is known for solid warranties. Their reliability is really good now. They've got a good track record for that. And the tech's really easy to use. Everything's straightforward. It looks amazing. I love how this looks. And so, yeah, if you want a really cool looking EV, check out the new EV6. This thing's impressive. Now let's get some things up for a video on this Kia EV6. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jerry Signer Kia here in South Salt Lake for giving me some time with the EV6. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see you guys.